SCP-2941, do not eat or consume. It's about some anomalous food, and this one's by The Oddity. Make sure to subscribe to The Oddity. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos, and let's get into this one.
SCP-2941 is a collective designation for a group of anomalous fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
While each of the fruits and vegetables that fall under this banner appear to be superficially similar to their non-anomalous counterparts,
they're alive.
their behavior and growth patterns differ massively. Many of the samples appear sentient, or perhaps even sapient.
Oh my.
And display several skills that are truly remarkable for plant life.
Okay.
Including limited sensory awareness like that of humans.
Right.
The ability to move freely. The ability to experience emotions.
Weird.
And the ability to speak in a number of cases.
Right.
Of course, SCP-2941 entities lack the apparatus in many cases to perform any of these actions.
Okay.
Such as a nervous system,
Sure.
a brain, lungs, and other speech organs. How they're able to perform any of their remarkable feats is still subject to further Foundation testing.
Anomalous.
Under ideal containment conditions, SCP-2941 specimens appear identical in size to the average specimens from their non-anomalous counterparts.
So,
However,
radishes, eggplants,
if any kind of positivity is applied to these specimens, whether it's verbal or physical displays of affection, or even positive attention, they begin to experience rapid growth.
Oh, wow.
This same rapid growth is also initiated when the specimens engage in activities they view to be pleasurable.
Oh.
While big fruits and vegetables would traditionally be seen as a positive thing,
Sure.
the concerning part about SCP-2941
they get bigger
is that their growth seems to experience no upper bounds.
Oh, wow.
If their morale becomes good enough, they could theoretically grow so large that they destroy entire cities.
I would imagine that
this is a credible threat, as studies have shown that these plants appear to have innately high self-esteem and a positive outlook on life.
So,
to prevent a fruit and vegetable apocalypse, the Foundation must regularly demoralize SCP-2941 specimens to keep their morale low, and thus keep their size manageable.
Wow.
If just left to their own devices, these specimens produce enough inherent happiness that they will begin to grow at dangerous rates.
Crush somebody.
There are currently 11 confirmed instances of SCP-2941.
What happens if you eat?
Though potential other fruit and vegetable-based anomalies are also being considered.
Okay.
Each of these 11 primary specimens are unique, both in how they gain happiness and in how the Foundation systematically demoralizes each one.
How they gain happiness is different.
Through years of experimentation, we now know the best ways to keep each one feeling unhappy.
Okay.
And thus, keep them at a manageable size.
Sure.
First, Malice Domestica, the red delicious apple. Designated in this case as SCP-29411. The apple puts its ability to move and think to good use, because its primary pleasure vector is simply rolling around its containment tank in a circle.
Sure.
However, the Foundation has found a way to use the apple's intelligence against it in order to squash its pleasure vector. The apple has been told that if it moves, a large worm-like parasite inside its body will awaken and devour it from the inside.
Oh, wow.
The apple has also been told that the Foundation is unable to ever remove the parasite.
Alright.
This fear of being consumed has thus far been enough to keep the apple relatively
manipulating
still and unhappy. Next, Phoeniculum Bulgari.
Fennel.
The Fennel. Known to the Foundation as SCP-2941-2. The Fennel is a creature of simple pleasures. Its greatest joy in the world is engaging in the classic children's game of peekaboo.
Oh my.
Specifically, it loves to be covered in a large piece of fabric, and then have that fabric suddenly pulled away to reveal it. However, the Foundation has discovered that the best way to reduce the morale of the Fennel is to simply leave the piece of fabric on top of it for an extended period of time.
Oh, wow.
Like a child playing hide and seek, and realizing that everybody else has stopped looking for it.
Exactly.
It often tries desperately to roll out from under the fabric on its own. To no avail. To this date, the longest period of time the Fennel has been covered for is a solid 16 days.
Oh my gosh.
Which led to record low morale.
Yeah, I guess
Next
so.
is
Can you
Cucumis
imagine?
mellow, the Honeydew melon.
I play peekaboo with my nephew
also
all the time.
known as SCP-29413 to
Honeydew.
the Foundation.
Not as good as the cantaloupe.
The Honeydew melon takes a lot of pride in its spherical shape, So whenever anybody is around it, it will always ask that they reaffirm the quality of its beautiful roundness. Foundation staff are forbidden from saying anything that could indicate that the melon is round and wonderful.
Right.
Instead, they are to recite the following, with as much malice as possible. You are a hideous cube.
A cube?
This specific insult has been shown to reduce morale significantly.
That's
Musa
just so
acuminata,
ridiculous.
or the Cavendish banana,
Oh, the banana.
is also known as SCP-2941.
Bananas and peanut
This
butter.
plucky piece of potassium fancies itself a gymnast and derives a great deal of pleasure from balancing on its stem.
Okay.
Of course, the Foundation can't have that. In order to crush this banana's dreams, they place it in a biocontainment chamber, which has a constantly moving floor, preventing it from balancing.
Right.
This constant failure of the banana to perform its favorite trick successfully keeps its morale as low as can be.
Gosh.
Capsicum
The
annuum,
bell pepper.
or the green pepper, has been designated
Love me some bell
SCP-29415.
In a stew or some spaghetti.
The pepper is a kind soul
fajitas.
with a great deal of concern for its fellow specimens.
All right.
It will often ask researchers at length about the other fruit and vegetables' conditions, showing a genuine desire to make sure that its contained brethren are all doing okay.
Is everybody okay? So you tell them
The
bad
Foundation
stuff?
uses the pepper's sensitive spirit against it, though. When asked, researchers have to tell the green pepper that the other specimens don't want to be talked about.
Wow.
And in fact, the pepper is seriously crossing boundaries and being a pest by even asking.
Gosh.
This seriously demoralizes the concerned pepper.
Poor pepper.
Next,
I feel so
Citrus
sorry for it.
latifolia, or the Persian
Persian
lime,
lime.
currently designated SCP-29416.
Margaritas, anyone?
The lime, like many of us, enjoys peace and quiet, and its growth seems to be stimulated by pleasant, peaceful environments.
Oh, so you gotta make it noisy and
That's
loud
why
and
the
nasty.
Foundation mandates for the lime to be placed in a biocontainment chamber,
With
where horrific noises
music.
are constantly
Oh
playing
my
at a
gosh.
level of at least 90 decibels.
Wow.
For the last 80 days,
Horrible.
the lime has been subjected to the sound of a knife scraping against glass,
Oh.
which has been quite effective at keeping it unhappy and not growing.
Poor lime,
Brassica
dude. That's
rapa,
hell.
or Terry the Turnip, is known to the Foundation as
Terry
SCP-29417.
the turnip.
Unlike
Never
a lot
really
of its
had
fellow
many
specimens,
turnips. You guys like
Terry
turnips?
is very insistent about its name and derives a great deal of joy from being addressed as Terry.
So, do y'all call it different
Naturally.
things?
The Foundation forbids anyone from
Terrence?
referring to this turnip as Terry. In fact, specifically to make the turnip angry and miserable, they demand that researchers refer to it in the most condescending manner possible,
Okay.
and always by names that are not Terry.
Cranky Jeffrey?
Through extended research, the Foundation has even discovered the three
Named
names that
Jeff.
make Terry the most upset. Ferguson,
Ferguson,
Wingding,
Wingding,
and
and Buds. Oh my god.
Agaricus
dude.
bisporus,
What the heck?
a pair of identical
Butt
button
mushrooms.
are
Oh,
collectively known as SCP-29418.
some good boiled mushrooms.
These
Some
mushrooms are
seafood
two
boiled
birds of a
seasoning.
feather and love sharing one another's company. You can probably see where this is going.
They kissy kissy.
The Foundation keeps them apart in opaque chambers to ensure they feel isolated and miserable at all times.
Wow.
And just to rub salt in the wound of these mushrooms, researchers are instructed to talk to each mushroom individually and say that the other has happily chosen to continue being apart from them.
Wow.
Prunus persica,
Gosh.
or the peach, has been designated
peaches.
SCP-29419.
Yo, white peaches are where it's at.
The peach highly values its personal space and shows extreme discomfort whenever physically handled by Foundation staff.
All right.
This weakness was able to be soundly exploited by researchers, who are
These
encouraged to
researchers
poke
are
and
evil,
flick
man.
the peach as much as possible during research sessions with it,
Flick the peach.
soundly demoralizing it in the process. There's even a form labeled 9C
Can
that
you
allows
imagine?
researchers working with the peach to note down just how many times they flicked it during their shift.
What do you do for a
Then
living off flick
there's
peaches?
Cucumis mellow, or the cantaloupe,
Cantaloupe.
also known as
I like cantaloupe.
SCP-29410.
Only when it's really ripe
This
and good,
charming melon is an aspiring
though. It's
comedian.
funny. Oh my god.
It loves to tell jokes to any researchers or guards in its proximity, and it seems to glean particular pleasure from making people laugh with its unique comedic style.
Oh no. So it's good jokes?
In order to keep the cantaloupe under control, the Foundation enacts a procedure known as 294110A.
Like Operation Montauk or something.
Under this procedure, the cantaloupe is able to tell as many jokes as he likes, but researchers will always respond in one of two ways. They will either angrily tell the cantaloupe that his jokes are terrible, or appear very upset, and pretend the joke hurt their feelings.
Oh no.
The resulting sadness or guilt takes any joy out of the cantaloupe's jokes.
They need to make the tomatoes,
and
the
finally,
judgmental tomatoes or
Solana
whatever,
melongena,
SCP. Mix
also
it
known
with that.
as the eggplant, or SCP-2941.
Everyone's favorite emoji, yo.
The eggplant is perhaps the most innocent and sweet of all the fruits and vegetables that make up SCP-2941.
Always gets accused of being a D.
In its entire time in containment, it has only ever vocalized one sentence.
Okay.
Over and over again.
All right.
Hoo boo, I love you.
Oh.
Foundation scientists, through years of rigorous testing, have figured out that the best way to respond is with a carefully enunciated sentence. You should be hurled into the trash.
What the heck?
You may think that all of this is a little cruel and excessive for such innocent creatures that only seem to have love to give.
Right.
But there are sadly severe consequences for relaxing containment procedures on the 2941 specimens.
I mean, I can imagine that.
This was discovered the hard way by a member of Foundation staff, known as Junior Researcher Metcalf.
What did she do?
Because of an accident in Site 103's Antarctic Gardens, SCP-29413, the Honeydew Melon, needed to be relocated.
Okay.
Metcalf took it upon herself to relocate the fruit.
Right.
However, during her journey, she unfortunately crossed paths with a member of D-Class personnel who saw her carrying the melon and decided to make a tasteless joke that would end up having disastrous results. He called out to her and said, "Hey baby, those are some nice round melons you got there."
Uh-oh.
The D-Class personnel had no idea that when he made his crude, unwanted statement, that he'd also complimented the Honeydew melon's roundness.
Right.
This resulted in a massive, unprecedented spike in morale for the melon, causing it to expand rapidly and destroy the entire hallway, killing 13 people in the process, including Metcalf in the D-Class.
Poor Metcalf.
It took a full 8 hours of insults to get the melon back down to normal size in the aftermath, in what is a truly sobering reminder of 2941's dangerous potential.
Dude, this is so horrible.
SCP-2941 has been given the containment class Euclid because, while it doesn't present an active containment breach threat at all times, the methods for keeping each specimen in containment are complex and time-consuming.
Yeah.
The specimens are to be kept in separate biocontainment chambers within Biological Containment Site 103. Each one is afforded 4 to 6 hours of direct light from an overhead fluorescent each day. And checked 4 times a day to ensure that morale is at a suitably dismal level. If morale is shown to be rising, the current project head is to be consulted immediately.
Still don't know what happens to eat
after the unfortunate incident with Junior Researcher Metcalf. Interaction with SCP-2941 is limited to researchers with Level 3 clearance. Additionally, transport of SCP-2941 instances to and from other Site-103 research wings must be carried out in pre-approved routes, free of Foundation personnel traffic. Now, go and watch another strange SCP Foundation object.
That is a pretty strange object, to tell you the truth. I'd still love to find out what happens if you eat these fruit, if anything at all. That would demoralize. Take a bite out of that apple, right? Guys, the Oddity. Make sure you subscribe to him. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.